Now, Caribbean Chemicals has launched a new initiative which links farmers directly to its buyers. Its objective is to create a forum in which farmers can list their available produce or byproducts, and buyers such as restaurants, retail stores, or individuals can link with them directly to purchase and even make requests for future purchases. Here to talk to me more about this, actually joining us on Zoom, is Managing Director of Caribbean Chemicals, Mr. Joe Perez. Mr. Perez, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on Now.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Now, before we get into the work that you're doing, tell us a bit about Caribbean Chemicals.
So Caribbean Chemicals has been around since 1966, so 57, 58 years. We are a family company. We are headquartered in Trinidad, but we have offices in Guyana, Suriname, Jamaica, and Santo Domingo. In Jamaica, we also have a formulating plant where we formulate about 25 different products. We are the largest distributor of agriculture inputs serving the entire Caribbean, including French and Dutch islands. The only two islands that we don't serve is Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands, logically, because they're U.S. states. So we serve everywhere from Cuba in the west all the way down Martinique, Guadeloupe, and we supply farmers with everything that they need.
Right, because my next question was going to be why this project, but I realized that you have been working with farmers and working in agriculture for many, many years. And so I also wanted to know the reason or the process. Tell us exactly how is this going to work? How are you going to be linking farmers to those buyers?
So we've heard the hardships of our customers. And as we always say, if our farmers aren't profitable, we aren't profitable. So it's important for us to educate our farmers, give the farmers tools that they need to become profitable, whether it be basic financing, training, whether it be modern technology, new systems, new seeds. And one of the hardships that we heard all the time, every time we went out in the field, or every time farmers visited us, so every time I spoke with farmers, was the fact that they were having very much difficulties selling their crops. I would have seen recently in Facebook, just a few days ago, farmers posting their hardships at 2 a.m. in the morning outside of the market up in Mokoya, and the hardships that they face. And we started about 4 years ago on this project. This project is actually a very long project. We started the idea, the concept, and we met during the pandemic. Just before the pandemic, we started meeting with a web developer to try and see what we could do. Of course, the pandemic slowed us down a little bit. But again, this project is 4 years in the making. The last part took about just 6 months ago. 6 months was the security testing to make sure nobody could break into our backhaul and get any information. So it's been a long, tedious road. But we thought that this was a good tool to assist with the farmers.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. This linking farmers is all about linking farmers, cutting out the middleman, and linking farmers directly to their customers.
Right. Now I'm seeing here that there's a website that they need to join. Can you walk us through how interested farmers can register on the site?
So it's a basic registration. You just any farmer. We don't want to be. This is for farmers only. It's not for persons selling vehicles, or it's not for a person who is making handicraft or something like that. This is specifically for farmers. You register with an email and a telephone contact. Once it's verified, you're allowed access onto our site. And with that site now, a farmer, we have it set up where we have major crops. So we have root crops, we have vegetables, we have fruits, we have other processes. So honey manufacturers, egg manufacturers, those sort of farmers can come in and also sign up. So on one side, we have our buying board and our selling board. So our buying board is basically where a restaurant owner, caterer, somebody throwing a large event, a hotel, a supermarket, he can go on, they can sign up. Once they're registered, they can list what they want to buy immediately, or 3 months from now, or 2 months from now, or every week. or they can go on our selling board and see what farmers have available, and then link directly with the farmer. We don't get involved in the sale. We don't make commissions. This is a free website. So the farmer then, once that buyer contacts the farmer has direct access to the buyer, and they communicate and arrange and everything, like arrange delivery, arrange price, arrange terms, and they deal directly with each other, which is why it's called linking farmers. On the other side, the farmers, again, sign up, put in their cell phone number, telephone contact. Once we call them and contact that it is their person, you submit a proper ID so that we can verify who you are. You don't have to be a registered farmer. Once you're farming, we will allow you on. We know most of the farmers in Trinidad and Tobago, so it's nothing new for us. Yeah. So once the farmer signs up and gets his access into the site, he can put what he has available. So let's say he's a citrus grower and he's going to have, in a month's time, 100 pounds of oranges every week for 2 months or 3 months. He can put that in and link with a buyer who's looking for orange juice, whether it be a juice maker or a supermarket or somebody like that. They can do it. So we're going to be opening up to anybody.
I know that you are actually advertising 100% local, but how are you going to ensure that the farmers are actually keeping it? Because I mean, there's a lot of conversation about what is 100% local. So how are you ensuring that that local produce is going to be on the market?
Good question. What we're going to do is every post comes through our process. So we will, the post is not automatic. So the post comes into our site. We have a person monitoring and looking at our site. Once the post is approved, we're going to let it go onto the site. If it's something that doesn't fit our site, we're not going to let it post. And we're going to contact the postee, whether it be a farmer or somebody else, and say, hey, all right, unfortunately, this doesn't fit our criteria. You've got to change it, or unfortunately, something like this will not thing. So it's not an automatic post. It's not something that you're going to get immediate. That also protects the site from any other person wanting to put something malicious or something wrong. We will protect it a bit. We're not going to be editors. We're not going to be looking at things very strong, but we are going to let most things through once again it fits our criteria.
Right. And I'm also wondering about the mindset change as well. I mean, most of our farmers, well, I'd say some of our farmers, because we do have the young ones coming up as well, they like going to the market. They don't have a website. They don't have an email address. And so I'm wondering, how are you going to get that mindset change for the farmers and also the buyers who love to go into the markets and who love to talk to the suppliers? So what are you going to do about that mindset shift?
So for us, it's an education program. All our life, what our company's done is educated farmers to move them from the old technology to new. So it's nothing new for us, again, to educate farmers. We are going to be launching within about a week a whole education social media blitz and on press and TV and radio. So we're going to be spending the next month or so educating the farmers on why, how to use our site and why they have to use our site. Same thing for the consumer. We think that a lot of people, the pandemic really forced people to use different techniques of things. Zoom is something that became very large in the pandemic. So it's nothing new that we think we will be able to convince or educate a farmer or educate a consumer on what to do. So it's, as I said, we've been doing it for the last 50 or 60 years. So it's nothing new for us. So yes, it might be some uptake where we will have to do to educate a farmer, but I don't think it's going to be an overall difficult task. But we will spend about a month with a full blitz on how to do it and educational tutorials. And if we have to walk through with a whole farmer's hand and walk him through the system. That's why we do have a number to call, and it's a WhatsApp number or a regular number. You can call it, and we will walk through that person, whether it be a buyer or a seller, and we will show them what to do. Logically, for the benefits, we think are tremendous. Yes, we do know the mindset is difficult to change somebody who's going to the market for 30 years, but you have to think about the bigger pictures. The person buying 1 pound of tomatoes and 3 pounds of plantain is really not the consumer that we're going after. We want to go after the supermarkets and the restaurants and the caterers, etc., who are looking at large volumes and want to make the ease and allow the farmer to get a better price.
Yeah.
The middleman consistently in Trinidad over the last years has been the person that's made the most in making money in farming, unfortunately. So one of the reasons why we developed this was to ensure that farmers have a direct link with the consumer, so that the market, the farmer gets a better price, and also the person buying gets a lower price. So again, we're not going to compete against that Sunday morning person going into the market.
That Sunday morning person is me, Mr. Parise. That Sunday morning person is me. but I also wanted to know as well, in terms of the feedback that you've been getting on the ground, because you do have an existing relationship with the farmers, but what has been the initial feedback thus far?
So far, it's been very positive. A lot of farmers have been thanking us. There are a couple sites out there on Facebook and other things that people post, and we've been seeing it, especially in the last year, build a lot. So we're looking at them to see how we can make it easier for them, because if you belong to a farming site, not many consumers belong to that farming site. So this we're going to be pushing to the farmers. So it's easy. I think it's going to be easy for them to link with the consumer, with the purchaser, and for the purchaser, this is seamless. It's easy. We're hoping we don't get any system crashes. We've tested our site to make sure, but so far the signups have started. We've been walking through a couple farmers, but we've seen pretty positive advice. I think there was one negative advice about somebody who said that we stole their idea 2 years ago. Well, I'm sorry, this is not something that anybody had the idea on. We've been working on this for 4 years. Honestly, we've been working on this pre-pandemic, and the pandemic just slowed us up. But the positives far, far outweigh anybody with a negative. Anything we think to help a farmer and to help a consumer, I think is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
And
now, Mr.
we
Parise,
didn't want to
quickly,
charge.
because we're almost out of time. Mr. Parise, quickly, because we're almost out of time. Tell me, what is the website and where we can go to get more information about this?
So it's linkingfarmers.com, and there's a dash in between there, and there's a WhatsApp number. You can check on Facebook. You can check Caribbean Chemicals on Facebook also, and you can check Instagram, all the social media. Everything is there, and I, encourage the farmers to go into it. It's easy, very simple. linkingfarmers.com.
Nice. And finally, Mr. Parise, I just have to ask you this. So you mentioned that this is absolutely free, that Caribbean Chemicals is not getting any sort of commission from this. But nothing in life is really free, right? So what was really the purpose for doing something like this? And I know you mentioned COVID-19 pandemic, but again, to just give this out free like that, there must have been a deeper reason as to why you're offering this to farmers and also to buyers as well.
So there is a revenue stream that we do expect to bring in about a year as we roll this out throughout the Caribbean, because we're going to roll it out. And that revenue stream is classified as for farmers. But that's a minor part of it. We have over 25 agronomists on staff, and every morning of life, they go out into the fields and provide free advice. So it's nothing, we've not been doing something where we charge farmers. It's always been free. Again, if farmers can't make money, we can't make money. So we provide free advice on how to take care of their crops. So this again is another free link for farmers to ensure that they can become profitable. Yeah. And that's it. There's no gimmicks. There's no rollouts. There's nothing
There's no hidden feature. There's no hidden feature that that could make the farmers. Yes.
Nothing sneaky.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, Mr. Parise, let me thank you so much for coming on the Now Morning Show and just sharing a bit about the website, linkingfarmers.com, right? They can go there and they can register. Yes?
Correct. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Of course. Have a good one, Mr. Parise. Thanks again. And that was the Managing Director of Caribbean Chemicals, Mr. Joe Parise, just sharing a new website that links buyers and farmers together so that they can purchase their produce. You're on the Now Morning Show. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. Stay with us.